Okay, welcome in one and all. I'm now going to be reviewing all of Sunday's action in the NHL. There are 8 games on tap, starting with the teams you see on your screen between the Nashville Predators and the Montreal Canadiens. Sissons would kick things off for the Predators in the first, getting his 8th goal this season from Forsberg and Yossi, a power play goal with 8 minutes and 19 seconds to go in the frame. In the second, Sissons would then get his second goal of the game, his ninth of the season, an even strength goal 7 minutes and 3 seconds into that frame, assisted by Fabro and Yossi. Jake Evans would score with 35 seconds to go in that period. There were no assists on his score, his second of the season, and that is where we would stand at the end of that. No goals were scored in the third. So with that, Nashville bounces back after losing to the Leafs on Saturday. They have now improved to 15-13-0, and with Montreal, it's like win-loss, win-loss. They just beat the Sabres, but now they lost to the Predators. They are 12-13-3. All right. Excuse me. Our next matchup takes place in Columbus, where we have the Blue Jackets, and they're playing against the Florida Panthers. Take a look at the goal scoring summary. So Forsling would kick things off in the first, getting his 3rd goal this season from Barkov and Reinhardt, 1 minute and 2 seconds into the frame. Chinakov, if I'm pronouncing that name correctly, would then get his 6th goal of the season to tie things up, 7 minutes and 6 seconds into the frame from Marchenko and Gudbranson. Verhage would then score 22 seconds after that to give the Florida Panthers a 2-1 lead, getting his 13th goal this season from Reinhardt and Forsling. So it's 2-1 in favor of the Panthers heading into the second period. There were no goals to report in the second, so you have to jump all the way ahead to the third, where Barkov would increase the lead to 3-1, 13 minutes and 13 seconds into that frame, assisted by Bennett and Reinhardt. Voronikov would cut the deficit to 3-2, getting a 6th goal this season from Laine and Werenski, and that goal happened with 3 minutes and 49 seconds to go in the frame. Tkachuk would then double up the lead to 4-2, getting his 5th goal this season from Mikkola, and that goal happened with 1 minute and 55 seconds to go in the frame. And Luestren would then give his team a 5-2 lead, getting his 4th goal of the season from Barkov and Reinhardt, and that goal happened with 1 minute and 1 second to go in the game. So with that, the Panthers have now improved to 17-8-2, and for the Blue Jackets, they're still bottom of that the Metropolitan Division, I do apologize, 9-16-5. Our next match takes place in Edmonton, where we have the Oilers, and they're playing against the New Jersey Devils. So take a look at the goal scoring summary from that game. So Derek Ryan would kick things off, getting his 3rd goal this season with 1 minute 24 seconds to go in the frame, assisted by Gagne and Brett Kulak. In the second, Evan Bouchard would get a power play goal with 5 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the frame, his 8th of this season, assisted by Draisaitl and Nugent Hopkins. In the third, McDavid would have an empty net goal because the goaltender got out of his net, and there was a bit of a kerfuffle. Evander Kane would get the loose puck past to McDavid, and like I said, he had an open net, so he would score his 10th goal this season, 4 minutes and 23 seconds into that frame. Less than 30 seconds after that, or about 30 seconds after that, Jesper Bratt would finally get the New Jersey Devils on the board. He would score his 12th of the season from Hischer and Palat, and then McDavid would then return the favor. Would pass to Evander Kane to an empty net with 3 minutes and 8 seconds to go in the period, getting his 12th of the season. So 4-1 is the final score. With that, the Oilers have now come all the way back. They were 5-12-1. They've now won 7 in a row, which is absurd. So they're now back to 500, 12-12-1. And with a loss, the Devils are 14-11-1. Take a look at the next game. So it takes place in Chicago, and that's the Blackhawks, obviously, and they were playing against the Washington Capitals. Okay, take a look at the goal scoring summary from this matchup. So there are no goals to report in the first. In the second, Kurashov would open up the scoring 6 minutes and 49 seconds in the frame, assisted by Seth Jones and Bedard. Mantha would then tie things up, getting his 7th of the season from McMichael, 8 minutes, 11 seconds into that frame. Strome would give the Capitals a 2-1 lead, getting his 11th goal of the season from Edmondson and Ovechkin. Dowd would then increase the lead to 3-1, 15 minutes and 23 seconds into that period, assisted by Mallenstein and Jensen. So it was 3-1 in favor of the Capitals heading into the third. Dowd would get his second goal of the game, his fourth of the season from Abu Kabul and Mallenstein. And Connor Murphy would get a late goal for the Chicago Blackhawks with 1:42 to go in the frame, assisted by Bedard and Kurashev. So with the victory, the Capitals are now 14-8-3. And with the loss, the Chicago Blackhawks are now 8 games below 500, 9-17-1. Our next matchup takes place in New York, where we have the host team Rangers, and they're taking on the Los Angeles Kings. So this is a big game for a couple of reasons. Obviously, the Kings just played against the Islanders the night before and lost their first away game. And then they came into New York, and they were facing their former goaltender that they traded away last season in Jonathan Quick. So now we'll take a look at the goal scoring summary from this matchup. Zibanejad would kick things off in the seconds. There were no goals to report in the first, getting his 7th goal of the season from Trocheck and Panarin, 8 minutes and 27 seconds into that frame. VC would then score with 3 minutes and 33 seconds to go in the period, his 6th of the season, assisted by Bonino. So it's 2-0 in favor of the Blue Shirts heading into the third. Philippe Deneau would get a power play goal, his 7th of the season from Kempe and Kopitar to finally get the Kings on the board. Brodzinski would then get a power play goal for the Rangers, his 1st of the year from Trocheck and Fox. And then Cooley would increase the lead to 4-1, getting his 5th goal this season from Trocheck and Brodzinski with 4 minutes and 36 seconds to go in the frame. So with that, the Rangers are now 19-6-1, and the Kings are now on a 2-game losing streak, but they're still 16-5-4. Okay, we'll take a look at the next game, which takes place in Anaheim, where we have the Ducks, and they are playing host to the Winnipeg Jets. So I will get the team's logos on the screen momentarily. Okay, we'll take a look at who scored. So there are no goals to report in the first. We have to jump all the way ahead to the second, where Alex Glorin would open up the scoring for the Ducks, getting his 3rd goal of the year from Terry and Jones with 4 minutes and 53 seconds to go in the frame. Sorry, 3 minutes and 53 seconds to go in the frame, a power play goal. In the third, Henrique would double up the lead to 2-0, a minute and 15 seconds into that frame, getting his 5th goal of the season from Silverberg and Gudis. Niederreiter would then get his 7th goal of the season to finally get the Jets on the score sheet, assisted by Namastinkov and Dillon, a minute and 58 seconds into that period. Morgan Barron would then tie things up 5 minutes and 55 seconds into the frame, getting his 5th of the season from Morrissey and Gustafsson. Velarde would then get a go-ahead goal, his first goal as a member of the Winnipeg Jets, assisted by Morrissey and DeMello, and that goal happened with a minute and 42 seconds to go in the frame. And then Scheifele would double up the lead to 4-2, getting his 9th of the season from Nick Ehlers, 29 seconds to go in that frame. So 4-2 is the final score from Anaheim. So with that, the Jets are 16-8-2, and they're in first place in that Central Division. Let me repeat that. The Jets are in first place in that Central Division. So I don't think they're missing Dubois too much. And with that loss, the Ducks are now 7 games below 500, 10-17-0. All right, the next matchup takes place in Seattle, where we have the host team in the Kraken, and they were playing against the Minnesota Wild. Okay, take a look at the goal scoring summary. Boldy would kick things off in the first, getting his 7th goal of the season from Kaprizov, 7 minutes and 14 seconds in the frame, so it's 1-0 in favor of the Wild heading into the second. There were no goals to report in the second, so go ahead to the third, where Rossi would get his 9th goal of the season, increasing the lead to 2-0, assisted by Zuccarello, 12 minutes and 34 seconds in the frame, and Eriksson Ek would score with 4 seconds remaining in the game, his 14th of the season, assisted by Hartman. So 3-0 is the final score. With that, the Wild are 10, 12, and 4. And with the loss, the Seattle Kraken are 6 games below 500, 8, 14, and 7. All right. The last game from Sunday takes place in Las Vegas, where we have the Golden Knights, and they were taking on the San Jose Sharks. Take a look at the goal scoring summary. So Ferraro would get his first goal this season for the San Jose Sharks, assisted by Burrows and Granlund, just 29 seconds into that frame. Jump ahead to the second, where Marchessault, it seems like almost every game that I'm covering the Golden Knights, he's always scoring at least one goal or getting on the score sheet somehow. He would tie things up, getting his 13th goal this season from Hutton, 5 minutes and 34 seconds into that frame. Stevenson would then add a goal in the second with 4 minutes and 14 seconds to go, a power play goal, assisted by Pietrangelo and Stone. So it's 2-0 in favor of the Golden Knights heading into the third. McNabb would increase the lead to 3-1, a minute and 43 seconds into the frame, his second of the season from Eichel and Korachek. Hoffman would get his 7th goal this season for the San Jose Sharks, a power play goal from Granlund and Kakinen, and that goal would happen 3 minutes and 56 seconds into that frame. Speaking of Marchessault, he would get his 2nd goal of the game, getting his 14th of the season from Stevenson and Whitecloud, 9 minutes and 23 seconds to go in the frame. Addison would get his first goal as a member of the San Jose Sharks, assisted by Bailey and Zadina, 3 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the period. Then Mike Hoffman would tie things up, getting his 2nd goal of the game, his 8th of the season from Hertl and Barabanov, with 39 seconds to go in the frame. It would take an extra time to decide a winner. However, there were no goals to report in the overtime play. We have to jump ahead to the shootout, where Jack Eichel would get the game-winning goal. So with that, the Vegas Golden Knights have improved to 19, 5, and 5. And with the loss, the Sharks are 8, 17, and 3. As always, thank you all for tuning in, the ones that do. And if you're new to this channel and you like this type of content, I do videos on the daily. Please feel free to hit the sub button. I'd be very grateful and very appreciative. And as always, take care.